first thing I want to say is thank you. I can't tell you how much it means to the school and to the people of Southern Africa that you partnership in this work. By the way, let me get that picture off of the screen. You'll notice I was wearing the same jacket and tie. Looks like I only have one jacket and tie. But this is my traveling jacket. So, as anytime I travel, this is what I wear. Probably the same jacket and tie I wore last time I was here. But we really appreciate your support. And one of the most exciting things I did this year was when we went to South Africa last October. I took a video camera with me, and I randomly grabbed students and said, "Hey, let's talk about why you're here. Let's talk about what you're doing in Southern Africa Bible College, and let them tell their story, and then let them say thank you as well, and to hear their words." So I'm really excited for you this morning to hear their hearts and what they have to say more than just what I have to say. So let me begin, though. How many of you have heard of Southern Africa Bible College before? Yay, great. So quite a few hands, but there's some that weren't there, some that didn't come up. So let me tell you just a little bit about it. Southern Africa Bible College started in 1966 by Elder Eccles, a longtime American missionary, and one of the South African converts, a guy by the name of Al Horn. Now, Al was converted in 1952 when he was 15 years old. He came to the States and studied for college, met a girl from Houston, Texas, and moved back and started working in Tanzania with the Jamal Mission and now the Andrew Conley School of Preaching up there in Tanzania. And then in 1966, Eldred and Al and their families moved to Benoni, South Africa to start Southern Africa Bible College. Now, Benoni is an interesting place. It's a suburb of Johannesburg. About 250,000 people live there now. So it's an interesting place. But as you can see, this year we're celebrating our 50th anniversary. So 1966 to 2016, right? 50 years of service. So we're really excited about that. We're calling it a year of Jubilee, celebrating 50 years of service, looking to the past, but committed to the future. Because you see, I tell people, well, let me tell you a little bit of the past. So it started in 1966, right there, under that tree. That's a chestnut tree. Still on campus today. 5 students got together and met for the first class under that tree. That's the tree is a beautiful tree. This was taken in the spring last year, right? It was green, everything was blooming around it. I mean, it was a picturesque setting. But you think about what started under a tree with 5 students. That tree has gone through a lot of transformation in 50 years, hasn't it? It's grown a lot. It's a beautiful tree. But the school has undergone a lot of transformation as well. So 5 students meeting under the tree in 1966. We look back over the 50 years, we've had over 1,400 attendees from 30 different countries who now preach, teach, evangelize, and lead in over 40 countries around the world. You see, when those guys started the school, they said, we're going to start this school here, and we're going to reach all of Southern Africa with the gospel. All of Southern Africa. We can look back and we can say, you know, they were smart guys, but their vision was a little small. Because it's gone beyond just Southern Africa. Almost all the countries of Africa. To Australia, to New Zealand, to Eastern Europe, to Asia. All over the world. So, the school has seen a lot of transformation. It's now an accredited college offering a bachelor's degree in theology. This is still their single focus, is preparing people to lead the church. It's founded on 2 Timothy 2, verse 2, where Paul tells Timothy, the things which you have heard me say in the presence of many witnesses, entrust to reliable men who can teach teach others also. Right? That's still our purpose. That's still what we do. How do we teach people to take the gospel to others? The school's seen a lot of transformation. Now it has a 22-acre campus, has dorms, has married student housing. Last time I was here, I brought Fred Bird with me, who is the CEO. I'll talk a little bit more about him in a minute. So hopefully you'll remember him. But you know, not only the tree and the school have gone through a lot of transformation, lives have gone through a lot of transformation. So those students who come to the school, who come with a desire to learn, a desire to teach, a desire to lead, they sit at the feet of teachers who have planted churches and built churches and led churches and studied one-on-one with people and baptized people and grown the church. It's been their passion. And their lives are transformed so that when they leave, that's what they want to do. Even more so than when they came. When they go out, they transform lives. They preach the gospel. They bring people to Christ. And you know what? Eventually, some of those people come to school instead. Go out and preach the gospel. This is an ongoing, continuously expanding ministry. And just like this tree is transformed and changed over the years and grown. I don't know what you think about the tree. Maybe it's better in person. I think it's a beautiful tree. It's even got a little tire swing under it, you know. It's a great tree. And I see that as a great metaphor for the school and for how it's branched out and reached so many different places and how, in God's eyes, He sees it as that beautiful. Something that has changed and transformed over the years. Okay. Well, today, by the way, when I came here 5 years ago, the first time I came here and met you, we had just come out of 2008, the financial crisis. South Africa faced incredible inflation. We lost a lot of supporters here in the U.S. because up until that point, the fundraising had like it is for most mission efforts. The missionary is working in the field, stay there for 2 or 3 years, and they come back to the States and raise some money, and then they go back for 2 or 3 years. Well, Al Warren is now in his late 70s. When he comes to the States, it's usually to go to the doctor, and so he wasn't making trips like he used to. And so 2008 comes along, and we lose a lot of support. Names look back. We're down to 24 students on a campus that can house 100 students. And yet, when we come and we talk to you and partner with us, and others partner with us, we've been able to continually grow over the last 5 years. So today we have, this February, we started 48 students in the school. And we're just continuing to grow every year. And I say that not to say, hey, wow, we got 48 students. Great. I don't want you to think of it as, wow, that's one student body. I want you to think about that as 48 different areas of Southern Africa. They're going to benefit 48 different new churches, 48 different churches that are established that are going to benefit from a well-trained, well-equipped, well-prepared ministry of the gospel. And they're not just going to preach for one congregation. Typically, they'll preach for several congregations, kind of an itinerary. So there's going to be 48 different areas that are going to benefit from a well-prepared ministry. So thank you for your partnership in this effort. It is not in vain. It's helped us to grow. Okay. Some of the things I like to talk about are reasons that we're involved. Now, let me tell you this. There's going to be time for question and answer. You might not think that right now. You think he's talking forever. I'm going to talk forever. I want questions and answers at the end. So if you think of any questions, please feel free to ask them at the end. So 4 reasons that my wife and I got involved 6 years ago were the students, the leadership, return on investment, and the local support. Those are the things we're going to talk about this morning, and then we'll have some questions, okay? So, the students. Students must be recommended by their home congregation to come to school, all right? Average age of the student, is between 35 and 40 years old. Typically, our students are people that have been working in business, working some sort of job, but also working with the church. And they have their epiphany where they say, you know, I find more joy, more purpose in working for the church, seeing the church grow, than I do in my business. So they quit their jobs. With their families, they move to Benoni, South Africa, sometimes 600, 900 miles away from home. And they dedicate themselves to 3 years of study and learning. So that when they go back home and plant a church or work for an established congregation, let me make this clear. When they go back home, they understand that they will probably be working a secular job as well as teaching to me. Okay? They're not, only 10% of preachers in South Africa are fully supported by a church. Only 10%. Okay? It's not, there's a 1,000-member congregation. They partially support several ministers, but the main preacher supports himself by driving the truck. Okay? But it's not, this is tradition over there. It's not necessarily just because they have to. Okay? So, in the cases that you'll see, I think both of these guys are self-employed, but in other cases when they quit their jobs in an economy with 40% unemployment to go to school, they understand it's going to be hard to find a job when they go back home. Right? And understand the struggles. But I've come here and I've told you every time I've been here how great the students are. I want you to meet some students. This first student is a guy named Thabo. And Thabo is from the northeastern part of South Africa. He's about 50 years old. He has an upholstery business. That's how he has earned his living. That's how he's made his money. That's how he supported his family. Okay? And Thabo was working with the church there in Palabora, I think is how he says it. Let's let you meet Thabo.
My name is Thabo Matani from Palabora in the Limpopo, Northern Province. I'm a student at SEPS. I'm doing a second year. I came to SEPS to study theology in order to gain knowledge so that I can spread the word of God throughout the world. My first priority when it comes to the work of God is to make sure that I take as many souls as I can, those who are getting lost, together to the kingdom of God. So in my study, my plan after studying SEPS, I want to be a full-time missionary. But I'm going to start from my community where I see there is a potential for people to get this opportunity of getting salvation. So I had to work out in my community through this called census. I had to make census with my community to find out the number of people in my community, the dimension of the area, and only to find that there is no Church of Christ throughout the entire nearby villages. They are plus or minus 100 villages, which are plus or minus 50 kilometers from where I stay. So my plan is to make sure that in my area I'll be training people to work with me in order to bring these people to God. I want to make sure that in the period of 2 to 3 years, all the nearby communities must hear the gospel. And that is what is burning in my heart. That's what I desire to do.
Yes, so Thabo was just living up in the northeastern part of South Africa. He's got his business, he's got his family, he's got now I guess a 20-year-old son and an 18-year-old daughter, and they moved up there with him. His son started school when he did. And he's looking around. There's about 100 villages within 30 miles from my house. And they don't know the gospel. So he could just say, well, that's really sad, and not do anything about it. But that's not what going to go back there and he's going to train people, and he's going to within the period of 2 to 3 years, make sure that they hear the gospel of Jesus Christ. He has a passion, a desire to see the world has changed, to see that people are brought to Christ. It's a typical student. They leave many different kinds of jobs and situations to come to SABS, Southern African Bible College, and learn more. The next guy is a guy named Tigani. Tigani is a little different story. He's a little bit younger. Well, I'll just let you hear.
I came to SABS because of the need that I realized that we actually need the church to grow in the rural area, especially where I come from. I worked in Johannesburg until 2013, and then I went back home to study business. If I'm in business, I'm in the farming. I grow chickens. So when I was there in the church, I realized that the church consists only of old people. The youth are not attracted to church. But there was nothing much that I could do, because first of all, I'm not equipped. So I realized that I need to be equipped so that I can be able to share the gospel, especially with young people in the surrounding areas. The church at home is not bad, it's actually good and strong. However, the age gap, because of the old people, let's say, if all these old people dies, what's going to happen? The young people, they're not going to stand up and do the service. So we, young people, we must be equipped so that we can be able to do the right things. So I realized that I need to come to SABS, study, go back home, and start evangelizing, especially in the surrounding areas. That is the reason I came to SABS.
Okay, so here he is working in Johannesburg, had a good job, decided to move back home, start a business, rose chickens, what he says. Chicken business is pretty successful in East Texas, where I come from. I'm sure he was going to do well. But he said there's something more important. Church, what's going to happen if no young people are involved in the church? And instead of just warning, he says, I'm going to do something about it. I'm going to change it. I'm going to make a difference. That's a typical story of a Southern Africa Bible College student. And they go many different places and do different things. So these will go back to their hometown and country. We've had others that will go off into new places. William Tingani started a church in his home in Port Elizabeth, South Africa. Today has 60 members, all people that have never heard the gospel before. Andrew Lamine, who grew up in a brick house with running water and electricity, instead of going back to that and preaching there, he moved into a squatter camp where he lives among the people and preaches the gospel, and has planted a church that has 40 members. And they feed, at that squatter camp, they feed 200 kids every day. They help them learn about the gospel. By the way, one of our trips, we went to the squatter camp and we saw the kids and we interacted with them. They have a Bible lesson before they ate their meal. And then they sing songs. And they sang the Lord's Army. So they sang, I mean, ever march in the infantry, you know that song? And everybody knows that song, right? Well, and they do it in different styles. So they sang it in Zulu. They sang it in Zulu. And then they sang it in Texan. So that was the weirdest experience of my life, to hear all these kids that were just speaking in Zulu go, yee-haw! So it was an odd situation. So they go many different places and preach the gospel and bring people to Christ. One of our students is an interesting story, Freddie Mayala. Freddie Mayala is from the Congo, and he moved, in the Congo they speak French, and he moved to South Africa to get a job, and so he was working for a company in South Africa doing business with the French. So he had a great job. He was doing well, but he became a Christian in South Africa. And after a while, he said, I want to preach. And so he he comes to SABS, and as he's learning English, which is all the instruction is done in English, which is one of the official languages of South Africa, he's also learning Greek and Hebrew. He's like, it was tough. It was a tough year, you know. But now he's out preaching in an informal settlement, not a squatter camp exactly, but not a regular subdivision or regular neighborhood. And he's established a church. And now that church has sent students to SABS. Because they're going to go out and preach the gospel. Transformation. Transformation of lives, transformation of communities, transformation of the world. So the second reason we're involved is the leadership. Al Horn, still our president, is so evangelistic, and that is his heart. That is their passion. Everywhere they go, they're studying people. I brought with me, and he still serves as our president, Fred Berg. I brought with me last time is the gentleman on your left. I think many of you remember he's the former South African ambassador to the United Nations. And I asked Fred, I said, why would you give up a job where you're living on the Upper East Side of Manhattan and your car allowance is more than what you make for us? And he said, there's nothing more important than the Great Commission. Nothing. Fred said he would go on aid trips with the governor of South Africa. They'd go to a foreign country, somewhere in Africa, and they'd decide whether or not they're going to send medical and food aid. Extremely poor situations, and invariably they'd send aid, and he would go back in a year, and he said that they were in the same situation. There's still poverty. But then I went on a campaign with the students at SABS, and we went into a village of ultimate poverty where the kids would go scrape residue off the trash cans and eat it. That's part of their daily diet. And some of them had to be locked up during the day, so they wouldn't get abused by others that were around. So we went in there and we preached the gospel. We came back a year later, and that community was thriving. There wasn't poverty where the kids were out running around free. They weren't being locked up. They were being taken care of. Other churches would come in and help provide for needs and things like that. He said, I remember right then, I said, seek ye first the kingdom of God, his righteousness. All these things will be added. He said, I knew right then and there I needed to do something different. But I interviewed a guy named Hubert Ramagway. Hubert Ramagway is on our board of directors. He's been on the board for probably 20 or so years. Okay? He's from the northeastern part of South Africa also, and he's a chemist in South Africa. And I'd like you to hear from Hubert why he's involved in the school.
Early on, I realized that Christian education, in terms of training people to do God's work, it's very important. And I've been observing congregations who are struggling when they don't have a trained man. And it just dawned on me right there and there that, this is something that needs to be supported, and we need to be training people to go there and help those congregations. You cannot do it on your own. You'll have to have men, and then those men, for them to be able to do that task, they have to be equipped. And that's what really motivated me. And from that region where I come from, we have really sent a lot of people to come here to the college to be trained. And there has been a difference. We can see a change. We can see an impact that the school has made in those areas. And not only now, even in the past, we've been connected to the school even in the past, but now with more people being trained, we can see that there's a positive contribution that the school is making. And that is why we keep on pushing. We're not going to be here for a long time. We are passing. So we need to make sure that there are people who are going to remain behind, who are going to carry on to do the job.
Having a little delay on the video. Sorry about that. Did everybody read that, follow along? Okay. He's looking around. He said, "This is important. I've seen churches where they've struggled. people out there to lead. And that's why he's involved in school. He's seen the difference. He comes from that area in the Northeast where there's 1,000-member congregation, right? And that congregation trains people and sends them out as well. If they go through their training program there at the church. If they do well, they send them to SABS to get extra training, and they go back and lead that effort. So the leadership is very important to us. Notice they're all South African. This is not Americans going over there saying, this is how we're going to do it. We're going to do it our way and all this. This is South Africans saying, this is important to us. This is important to how we're going to reach our part of the world in Christ. So we're pleased to be part of that. The return on investment. This is an interesting one. Truett Adair of Sunset International Bible Institute says it like this. He has a good statement on the return on investment. He says, on the average, it costs about $50,000 a year to support an American mission family somewhere in the world. And typically, we send teams of mission families. So let's say we send 5 mission families somewhere in the world. That's $250,000 a year to support them. And they will stay for 5 or 10 years, and they'll do good work. They'll plant churches, they'll start schools, whatever, they're going to do good work. But in a world of 7 billion people, we can quickly see we don't have the financial resources to reach it that way. Training and equipping Christians on the field has proved effective around the world. So at Southern Africa Bible College, a single year, the complete cost is $8,400. You might say, well, that sounds kind of expensive. This is a missionary paying $8,400 to support a student. Well, understand the cost of living in Benoni, South Africa is just a little under what it is here. Okay? It's changed a little bit in the last few years with the value of the rand going down, but it's still pretty high. So $3,600 we can add a student that provides room and board, and then $4,800 a year for tuition. So over 3 years, about $24,000. You have a well-trained, well-equipped student who has sat at the feet of people who have planted churches and built churches in Southern Africa. They will go back to their hometown and country. They will plant churches, and they will be supported by local churches and their own work. And they'll be there a lifetime. We think that's a good return on investment. Comparing $24,000 over 3 years with $50,000 a year, $250,000 a year. Okay? So it's a good return on investment. And then finally, the last thing I want to share with you is the reason we're involved is the local support. And 5 years ago, South African churches were giving 364,000 rand a year. That was at the time 1/3 of our budget. And remember what I said about South Africa? 40% unemployment, right? In the last 5 years, they have doubled the amount they give to the school. Again, this is South Africa saying, this is important. We've got to put our money here. We've got to reach the world for Christ. If we're going to do it, this is how we're going. So even in an economy of 40% unemployment, they've doubled, almost doubled what they've given. Okay, the Benoni Church of Christ is our second largest supporting congregation. It's a 200 or 300 member congregation, and equivalent of about $1,500 a month. Okay. Let me go back. Stop here. So, let the students tell you what they think about your support.
Your support really makes it possible for me and others as well to be able to fulfill that mandate that we have, which was left by Lord Jesus Christ, and that is to bring mankind back to the Father.
We appreciate your help for training these gospel preachers. So we want to encourage brethren not to lose hope in the noble work you are doing. You may be far away, but your fruits, they are doing a very great job in Africa and all over the world.
So, to a person who's donating to the school, I would say that don't think that your money is in waste. It's actually in a good place. It's well invested. If you think that it's not well invested, it is. You might not see the fruits, but you can actually see the fruits in us.
I like to say to them, thank you very much for supporting us. Supporting one family, actually you can indirectly support 10 or more families. Because with the knowledge that I'll have, I'll go and share with other people the 10 families or more than that. Yes, and I really, really appreciate the support.
I really appreciate that, brother. It's so wonderful. You see, when I sit down and think about that, it just blows my mind. I come to the point where I don't really understand what is in their hearts. These people are very much blessed. Honestly, I see a great job. What they are doing is so wonderful. Day and night, I'm just praying that God may just give them courage. God may bless them, their family. They may see what they're doing is very much great and potential to the people in Africa.
I just like to say thank you so much.
What I'd like to say to them is that we really appreciate their contribution, and we really appreciate their support. And this is a noble cause. We cannot even express enough the help that they are giving to the college in order to attain this noble cause of making sure that people are trained, you see. And we just encourage them that they can continue to do that, and then both here locally and abroad. And we know that as time goes on, this college is going to have even a bigger impact due to the contribution that is being made.
What I like about Hubert's last statement is that I completely agree with it. Talk about 50 years of history, looking back, how it's done incredibly more than what we've ever thought it would. But I am not involved in the school because it has a great history. I'm involved with the school because it has an incredible future. It has such a solid foundation, accreditation, solid South African support, and American support. It has, apartheid is gone. We don't deal with that. There's just no way to determine how much more God is going to do to this school in the next 15 years. So thank you for your partnership in accepting. Any questions? Questions or comments? Yes, sir, David.
You mentioned that 5 years ago, 24 students and now it's double, 48. What's it taking past the 100?
Right. Student scholarships. So that's the key. That's what we strive for. That's what we do. We have a program now called the Student Sponsorship Program, and to push that effort, the idea that a congregation or individual supports for $300 a month or more, the $300 level can have a student. Okay? And that provides their housing, their transportation, and their meals. Now, let me be clear, that does not provide all the students' needs. The student's home congregation and the student's family support them while they're there. Okay? So that's our cost. One cooked meal a day for 6 days. Right? And so if a congregation or individual come in and support at least the $300 level, then they get initial report from the student saying, hey, this is who I am, this is why I'm here, and then they get quarterly updates from the student as to how they're progressing. And of course, you can have as much or little interaction with them as you want. So that is the biggest thing, student scholarships, to bring more students in. We have students that want to come. And we have students from other countries, of course. I think the student body now represents students from Ghana, Malawi, Zimbabwe, and South Africa. So, did that answer your question? Other questions? All right. Well, I'm sending out one video email a month with a 3-minute clip on it. Just more complete videos than what you've seen here. If you would be willing to sign up for that, put your email address down there. We're not going to send you an email every day or anything like that. One email a month for the next 4 months or 9 months in the year. And that will give you a guide as to what to pray for, what you can think about as far as the students and staff at Southern African Bible College. We appreciate you doing that. 3, introduce us to others. If you know of other congregations, individuals that might be interested in hearing about the work, we really appreciate an introduction. I was talking to Dave last night. I don't know anybody from Georgia. Right? I mean, the only reason I have ever came here, knew about this congregation is because of the Jenkins. I don't know if this will throw me under the bus, but Trey and I grew up together and went to college together. So don't hold that against me or him, either one. Right? They were kind enough to introduce him to you, and you've been a wonderful blessing to this work. If you know of other people that I should talk to or call, I would really appreciate that. And then 4th, join us for lectureships, not next year, this year. So you go with us October 2nd through the 6th is the lectureship. It's our 50th anniversary lectureship. We're going to have a great time. We're going to be 500 or more Christians there from all over Southern Africa, maybe even the world. And we'll spend a few days there on campus. You go with us. We'll introduce you to the local people. This is a thrive. Not a barbecue. It's a thrive. So I don't know what you think of Africa or what you think of the food in Africa. We had an elder from the Memorial Church go with us, and he took pants that were too small for him. He said, I knew I was going to be in Africa. I don't know what he thought he was going to be eating, but he thought he was going to lose weight. He didn't. And this is the best chicken, lamb, pork, and beef, and they cooked it all up for us. It was great. So it was a thrive. You got a full yard. That's the 3rd-year student. And this is some more of the locals. My mom went with us. She just turned 80 last year and decided to go with us as part of her celebration. And we'll introduce you to the wildlife as well. I don't mean my wife, who's kissing the cheetah, but and then some of the other locals that we met. I don't want to scare you, but the strangest thing that happened to me this year is I almost ran over an elephant. Well, I guess you can't really say you ran over an elephant. But we were driving through the national park there, the animals were roaming free, and I'm driving, I'm looking off to the side, trying to see if I can see a lion or a cheetah or a leopard somewhere, and my wife screams in the background, which she normally does when I'm driving. And so I push on the brakes, and there's an elephant that's about 20 yards in front of us. So I guess it would almost run over. It would have done a lot more damage to our van than it would have to it. But we have a great time, and no one's ever been injured on the trip. Yeah. All right. So we would love to have you go. We're going September 27th through October 8th. We'll be there 12 days. We'll go to the national park first, and then we'll come back for a lectureship, and it's a great time. We've got a few people going already. We'll take a few more. Cost is $2,700. All right. Any other questions? Yes. It's a great question. Now, I'm the director of development for the U.S., so I only know how many congregations we have supporting us in the U.S. I don't know how many congregations we have supporting in South Africa. Okay, I know it's growing. Here in the States, we have about 45 regular supporting congregations, and that varies. So the Memorial Church of Christ in Houston, the overseeing congregation, is by far the largest supporting congregation. I think they're about $5,000 a month. Most of that average is probably $150 to $200 a month. Includes congregations from $25 a month all the way up. And one of the good things about that, when we started this work, when I started working with this 6 years ago, we had 20 supporting congregations. So, and those were probably at $25 to $100 a month. So, the good thing about it is we try to get as many congregations supporting. So, if some congregation goes through financial issues or whatever, like they did in 2008, have to cut, then we're not not completely dependent on one congregation to try to spread it out. Other questions? Now, to him who is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine, right? According to his power that is at work in us. You see, it's easy for us to talk about God being able to do anything and being so powerful. When we look at the creation, we look at the world, it's amazing. He is able to do anything, more than we ask or imagine. Right? We can all say amen to that. But then it gets scary. Because what Paul is talking about in Ephesians 3 is not God's ability to create the universe. God's ability to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine just out by himself. What Paul is talking about is God's ability to do more than we ask or imagine while working through us. While working through you and me. That changes things a little bit, doesn't it? We're not just talking about God doing it, we're talking about working in partnership with God to allow him to work through us, to reach the people around us, to change our communities, to change our families, to change the world. We saw how he was able to do immeasurably more than all we could have ever imagined back in 1966. To reach the far corners of the world from Benoni, South Africa. What we're going to be talking about in the lesson this morning is transformation of our lives. To allow God to work through us, to do immeasurably more through us than all that we can ask or imagine, according to his power in your life. So, that's just a teaser for what we're going to be talking about. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your partnership.